welcome back to my channel. To my returning subscribers, thank you for showing up again. If you're new here, if this is the first time I've seen my face, welcome to this channel. My name is Jane Eze. I'm an international student in the United Kingdom. On this channel, I talk about my experience. I share information to people coming to the UK or living in the UK, and especially if you're doing this with your family, okay? This is the kind of content you'd like to see. I hope that it is. Please click on the subscribe button now. Click on the thumbs up to like this video if you do like this video, and if you think it's helpful to you or will be helpful to your friends and family, please do not forget to share this video, okay? So guys, in this video I will just be talking about some things that people don't talk about as much when it comes to the skilled worker visa, also known as our tier 2 visa. So a lot of people want this visa. Like, this is one of the most popular visas. There are other visas, FYI, right? But this one is one of the very popular ones. But even at that, there's still some things that people don't know about this visa. So this is what I'll be talking about in this video. It's not a lot, but it's something that is important and you need to pay attention to, or these are things that you need to pay attention to. So the first one is going rate. Now, going rate is something that you need to put at the back of your mind or in front of your mind, wherever you want to put it, but let it be on your mind that it is very important. A lot of people don't know what going rate is, even though this is something you have to know if you're applying for your skilled worker visa. I've made some videos trying to explain this. Do your research if you feel the need to, but if you don't want to do your own research, please check out the videos that I have on going rate. I'll link that up here so that it's easier for you to find. Or you can also search other videos on YouTube. I'm sure there are a number of people that have talked about going rate, right? Anyway, going rate is something that you have to know. You have to know what the going rate for your occupation is, so that when you're applying to companies or applying for jobs, you will know the salary that you're looking at, right, to qualify. You don't just want to do random applications and in the end you still do not qualify to apply for your tier 2 visa or your skilled worker visa. So it's very important that you pay attention to what the going rate for your occupation is. There are other criteria. So there's something like, oh, you have to meet the going rate for your occupation code, or you have to earn £10 10p per hour, or you have to earn 25,600. You guys already know that the salary requirement for the tier 2 is 25,600. Now, all these three that I've mentioned, the highest is usually what will be used, right? I've explained tier 2 in another video. Please check out that video if you don't know what I'm saying, right? But keep in mind that you need to know what your going rate is if you're talking about tier 2 visa. And that is one thing that a lot of people don't know and people are not talking about enough. And yeah, so that's why it's number one. Number two is your application fee. Now, I know that this might not be a big deal to some people, but it's worth noting that application for your skilled worker visa is not so cheap. So unlike some other visas that are way less, your health and care worker visa is so much less, like 200 and something pounds. Even your student visa is less than this one. Student visa, when I did mine, I think we paid like 348 pounds. Now it's been increased like 363, I think. But for your skilled worker visa, which is your tier 2 visa, your application fee is 625 pounds per applicant, and that's if you're doing for an application of 3 years, right? If you're doing for 5 years, it will be 1,235, and that's if you're doing your application outside the UK. If you're doing from inside the UK, which most people are doing because they're switching from their student visa to their tier 2 visa, the amount is higher. So you'll be paying like 719 pounds if you're doing for 3 years, and 1,423 pounds thereabout if you're doing for 5 years. This is not so cheap, so it's something you need to keep in mind. People don't talk about how expensive it is, or talk about the amount of applying for the tier 2 visa, but I think that is something that you have to keep in mind, so that if this is the visa that you're working towards, you can also save towards that, right? So even if you get like a job offer, a company is going to sponsor you, you don't want to get to that road and you cannot afford your visa, right? So you have to keep in mind what the amount for this visa is, which is why it is number 2 on this video. So the next one that I'll be talking about is kind of huge actually, and it will be your IHS, your immigration health surcharge, right? So of course, a lot of people who have come to the UK or who are coming to the UK already know what this is. It's like your health insurance, right? But you need to know that if you're doing a skilled worker visa, this is a requirement. You have to pay £624 every year for the duration of your visa. So if you're applying for 3 years, you're going to do this 624 times 3 years, right? If you're doing for 5 years, it will be 624 times 5 years. Now, why did I say this is huge? This is huge because if you're doing this with your family, you will pay for everybody as well. Now, I know that some companies have some arrangements with their employees. Okay, I can take care of. This is not general, so see, this is not general. In fact, there are some companies that will tell you to take care of your immigration health surcharge. And meanwhile, let me state that there may be different or little differences if you're applying from inside the UK or within the UK, and if you're applying from outside the UK. And whatever you with your employer decide, that's up to you guys. But you need to know that some cases you may have to pay your IHS yourself and for your family as well. So if you're doing for 5 years, you're paying 624 times 5 for you, the main applicant, and you're going to do the same for all your family members. So if you have a family of 5, you're going to multiply this figure by 5 to get what your IHS amount is. People don't talk about this. People don't say how expensive it is to apply for your Tier 2 visa, especially if you're doing this for you and your family, which is why I keep saying that you need to save. Like, either ways, whether you're doing post-study work visa or you're doing Tier 2 visa or skilled worker visa, you actually need to save. If you get lucky and you get the health and care worker visa, you may not spend as much. Of course, you still need to do some small payments. Yes, you still do your application. IHS is free in that visa, so that is not even a problem, you know. But there are still some small things you need to pay. But if you're doing other visas, Tier 2 visa, which is your skilled worker visa, you're doing your startup visa, you're doing your global talent. I beg your pardon. You're doing your global talent visa. All these other visas will require some amount of money to be paid. So you need to save towards that. I've done videos on how you should save, telling you the importance of how to save, giving you tips of how to save in the UK. So check the channel if you need all those videos. Yeah, but that is it about IHS. You need to keep that in mind, that you'll be paying for IHS every year for all your family members as well. People don't talk about it, but it's a lot of money. So whatever you're doing, factor that into your plans, okay? Yeah. The next thing that I'll be mentioning is how you need to keep in mind that you get some benefits if your occupation code is on the shortage occupation list. Now, this is not to say that if your occupation code is not on the shortage occupation list, you will not get your skilled worker visa. You can still get your skilled worker visa, but there are benefits to people who have their occupation codes on the shortage occupation list, right? You can have reduced application fee. You can have like reduced criteria. So in some cases where someone is supposed to have a going rate of so amount, you can have reduced going rate. I've explained this again, so please check the channel for that video. There are some cases that you can have like 70% of your going rate instead of having the amount for 100% of your going rate, simply because your occupation code is on the shortage occupation list, right? So there are benefits to this. So if you're doing something that is on the shortage occupation list, there are benefits to this, right? So yeah, it's something to note. So for people who are looking for courses that they want to study, this is another reason why people will always tell you, oh, you need to check shortage occupation list to find out what to study, so that when you finish, you'll be able to get jobs and all that. Again, it's not like if you don't get jobs that are on the shortage occupation list, you will not work in the UK. That is not what I'm saying. But I'm just making you guys understand there are benefits to being on the shortage occupation list, okay? So these are some of the things that I feel like people should know or keep in mind when they are applying, or when they are talking about applying to get their skilled worker visa, right? Plan. It's always nice to plan. I try my best to just give you guys the information that I think that will be helpful to you. And I think that this is something people need to keep in mind. You do not want to get to that road and you don't know how to go about it, right? So please put these factors in mind. Find out what your going rate is. Prep for your IHS and your application fees in terms of savings and you will be fine by God's grace. Okay, all right guys, if you have watched up to this time, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends and your family. Also, this will be a good time to tell you guys that we'll be planning a webinar later in the year. It's actually going to be in June, where different visas where you can come to the UK and settle with your family. Now, there's so many routes that you can actually take, but these ones will concentrate on the visas that can help you settle with your family, and you have beneficiaries of these visas talking to you and giving you tips on how they went about theirs, right? If this is something you're interested in, you will see the link in the description area. Please click on the link and sign up so that when the date is finalized and registration starts, you will be sent an email or a notification. Okay, all right guys, I'll see you guys in my next video. Until then, bye guys.